The following program is an original production of WICC PBS Chicago.
It is powerful medicine proven to save lives. A growing number of towns are teaching police officers to administer the drug Narcan. Why is it so controversial?
Little wheels keep on turning. Roller skating is back after a near-death experience. Meet one Chicago skater who never gave up.
And Governor Rauner chops programs and services in an attempt to solve the state's massive budget crisis. What's at stake if lawmakers go along with his cuts, and if they don't? These stories and much more tonight on In the Loop. Good evening, I'm Barbara Pinto.
And I'm Chris Bury. Illinois is at the heart of a deadly epidemic. Heroin use is up sharply as addicts shift from expensive and hard-to-get prescription drugs to a cheaper, more powerful alternative.
The alarming number of overdose deaths have prompted police officers and parents to champion and use a controversial life-saving drug.
He's a very good student. He loved baseball, golfing, very good golfer, just an average boy.
Gail and Donald Albano say their son Billy was smart, outgoing, a standout athlete at Lincoln Way High School in his hometown of New Lenox. But in his senior year, everything suddenly changed.
He started dabbling in other drugs, marijuana, ecstasy, eventually graduating Xanax, eventually graduating to heroin.
At 17, Billy was so addicted he dropped out of high school. His parents, powerless to stop his drug use, could only track his cell phone and their son's frequent trips from their south suburban home to I-290 in Chicago, where drugs are so easy to find, police and users call this stretch of interstate the heroin highway.
We've actually followed him on his phone many times, whether it's to the west side of Chicago. We'll see him in Blue Island, Harvey.
Billy's 4 years of heroin use have been a gut-wrenching roller coaster of withdrawal and relapse. He's been in and out of rehab 4 times, watched 12 friends die from overdoses, and nearly lost his own life the same way.
And we saw a car parked in front of our house. We saw the driver get out and walk around and pull our son out and drop him on the parkway.
Billy was left unconscious on the ground. His parents rushed to help.
I couldn't feel a heartbeat or anything. My wife called 911. We had the Narcan available. I actually gave him two injections of that.
The Albanos saved their son's life with Narcan. The drug, also known as naloxone or the Lazarus drug, can instantly reverse a heroin overdose. Billy's parents learned about Narcan the hard way.
After his friend died, that friend's mother reached out to an organization, Hero, and brought them to New Lenox. And they had Narcan training and made it available for us to have in our home.
Narcan has now saved Billy's life at least 5 times. His anxious parents now always prepared for the worst. The Albanos hope officials in Will County, where they live, will follow neighboring DuPage County, where first responders are trained to carry and administer Narcan. Mark Field, chief of police for the city of Wheaton, spearheaded the effort.
This is about saving lives, and every police officer is very frustrated when they arrive on the scene of an overdose and they have to wait for the paramedics to get there, and there's virtually nothing that they can do.
In 2013, at least 46 people died from drug overdoses. The following year, DuPage officials launched the Narcan program, with hopes of reducing the number of heroin-related deaths. Karen Ayala, executive director of DuPage County Health Department, says the program started with $50,000 has been a success.
The program has been phenomenally effective in that we have saved nearly 50 individuals from death over the course of that now 15 months.
Narcan works by immediately blocking the effects of heroin and other opiates in the brain. It's administered by injection or nasal spray. Each kit costs $16. Matt Robertson, an emergency response coordinator, trains officers to administer the drug.
You're going to apply the medication vial into the injector until you feel it grab. Now you're ready to administer. You're going to go ahead, the victim, half in one nostril and half in the other nostril.
As of today, more than 2,000 DuPage County officers are trained to administer Narcan, including Villa Park police officer Brian Ruby.
I have, since I've been given the Narcan kits, saved 2 lives.
Officer Ruby is a 14-year veteran of the force. He says carrying a Narcan kit has allowed him and other officers to stop overdoses that would otherwise be fatal.
What happens after that is, you're happy that you're able to help them, but I look back and my thought process is, I really hope you get yourself some help.
But help is hard to find. The growing number of drug users far outstrips the number of beds in treatment programs, and heroin is so addictive, many require rehab multiple times.
Access to treatment and really effective long-term treatment is another opportunity that we have moving forward for our community to really make a priority for individuals.
Critics say Narcan just enables addicts to keep using. But Officer Ruby doesn't see it that way.
They're using it because they want to. In the back of their mind, they're not going, if something happens to me, somebody will bring me back to life. They're not thinking like that. Their mindset is more the effect of, this is my addiction and I'm going to feed it.
Billy Albano's parents know their son would not be alive if it wasn't for Narcan. Billy's been clean for nearly a month now and has even picked up a part-time job. Every chance at life, his parents say, restores their fragile hope that Billy will stay in recovery and finally leave heroin behind.
They're either going to be dead or they could get help.
They're going to use regardless. I don't think that's going to prompt them to use more or more often because they have this.
More than 30 county and local law enforcement agencies in Illinois now carry Narcan. State lawmakers are also considering the Heroin Crisis Act that would offer Narcan to first responders statewide. The anticipated cost to taxpayers, $25 million. Now here's Chris with more on state spending and this week's trending stories.